I don't know why that was so hard to get started. For real, that was the most strenuous thing I've ever done.
Does
All right.
Andy usually do this stuff?
Well, Andy is the technical whiz in all of this, but I always say I'm in charge. All right, so welcome back, DomoDrop Cast episode 3. Today I have probably my most esteemed guest, personal friend of mine, and someone who I deeply hate. It's Christian Finkbeiner. He's you told me to say these. You said you're a professional gamer.
Yeah.
Not
you're
a drummer. You're an entrepreneur. That last part's true though, right? Aren't like all those? Yeah, entrepreneur, drummer, and professional gamer.
I think professional drummer is the most accurate one.
All right, so like last time, we got links to everything in the description. We're expanding the brand, and I don't want to get any hopes up, but merch could possibly be on the way, and it might be responsible from this fellow right here. So stay tuned for that.
Collaborative effort.
Well, of course, yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't be making merch with anyone else. You know these waters, man. Merch plug.
Merch plug.
Yeah, so we tried to get this started 3 separate times, and we were on a roll. We were on such a roll, and I'm trying to get back there to figure out what we said. We were talking about competition, right?
Yes, sir.
Listen, man, I watch a lot of. I don't really know what you would call it. I watch a lot of content where it's like Jordan Peterson, all these like super smart people, and they talk a lot about the loser mentality and the winner's mentality and all this stuff. And it's sort of hard to watch sometimes because I feel like watching those type of motivational videos or like just getting motivated to do anything, you just look at yourself and you say, well, that can never be me. And I feel weak by watching this, you know, like I just feel like this is calling me out. But I feel like once you adopt something like the fact that you may not be living life to the fullest, you may not be picking up habits, you want to get fit, but you're sitting on your ass all day. Like, I feel like once you look at those and you sort of take it at face value and you look at the bigger picture, it's a lot easier to do. And I'm sure you're well aware of that with just, you know, your grind on most things, you know. You're a dude that puts in the work.
Well,
whether it be games or obviously drumming, which is what you're most known for.
The drumming skills.
Yeah.
In my opinion, motivational speaking is just, well, I don't want to say it doesn't work for everybody because I'm sure it works for a select few, but to give my 2 cents on it, I think that you ultimately really get the most drive out of necessity over anything. Nobody, like, you could sit here and like you could be my dad, right? And you could tell me what I need to do and what I have to do, and I won't give it 100% unless I need it or I care for it. You know, those are my 2 big things. Is if I care for it or if I need it, I'm gonna give it my all. You know.
No, of course.
More emphasis. Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. I sort of see both sides. I don't really go straight to motivational speaking to make me do something. It's more so like if I'm already in the rhythm of something and I'm already giving it all my best, or maybe not enough. Maybe I'm giving it like 70. Maybe I'm giving it 60 on some days. I gotta see stuff like that to really get my ass back into gear because I haven't really told this story on the cast, but if you're down for a long-term story, I'll definitely tell it. My first semester of college, bro, being up there, being on campus, being just the way things are, it was really miserable. It was a really shitty time for me. And I know a lot of people made the most of it. I'm not just gonna blame all my just all my like my sadness and despair and just everything that happened while I was there on COVID, because I feel like that's kind of irresponsible at this point. Um, and you really don't have anyone to blame but yourself. So a lot of shit happened to me, and I was just living a really bad lifestyle. And out of necessity, when I came back home, I said, "Dude, I'm turning it around." And I picked up a ton of habits. I got into a really good ebb and flow with just everything I was doing, and I sort of really started to understand the the methodology of putting work into things and really seeing results in the end, you know?
I
So I
mean,
see both sides definitely.
it's just you need that like that initial push. I don't really believe that anybody can really get like a motivational speaker can plant a seed in your head. You know,
Of
it's really
course.
what they're trying to do. They're trying to get into your head, trying to
Yeah.
change the way that you think. All motivational speaking always goes the same way where they give you ideas and they're trying to put this idea in your head that you can do it or yada yada yada, you know. But really it just comes down to you and what you need to do or you care about something and you have to do this to make it happen, you know.
I totally subscribe to that, dude. I've always well, a seed in my head that wasn't really planted by anyone but myself, but I always figured I'd be a really good motivational speaker. I'd be really good, I feel, at getting into people's heads, and really, they're kinda just selling you an idea for free. They're selling you this idea of you can be at your fullest potential. I hear that one all the time. I hear, "You're not living your fullest. You're at 20%, you're at 10%. You could be given that 90, right?" Um, and I hear that all the time, and I was like, "Dude, I could be really good at this." But also, I don't do you think motivational speaking, a lot of people that do it, do you think it comes from experience? Do you think that all of the things that they talk about really comes from the fact that they've lived this, they've done this, and they've done all of these things? Because that's pretty that's a lot of shit for a lot of people, man.
Yeah, but I also think that they can be they're salesmen almost. I look
To
at
an
them like
extent, yeah,
salesmen, you know.
totally.
But I mean, it's the same idea with a motivational speaker or not. It's just it's like you're the only person who can do it, you know? Like,
Sure.
but some people need that shit, man. Like, it's not like some people need that initial. I mean, I'm gonna call it a push, even though I didn't call it. I neglected the fact that it was a push, but some people like they need someone to tell them the facts, and they can't. Like, some people struggle with that self actualization of
For sure.
I can do this. You know, some people need
Yeah.
it has to be told to them.
No, I completely agree. I'm on that wavelength 100%, dude. I, like let's like, I before I started getting into, like, fitness and eating healthy and all that, nobody told me anything. Nobody told me, like, "You're living like shit, you're eating like shit." Um, but I wasn't showing a lot of signs that I was unhealthy, but if I was, I'd want someone to tell me, "Dude, get your fat ass up and do something." It's not really body shaming, you know? That's more so just, like, saying, "I'm concerned and you should do this." People gotta get hit with the facts. Coming to the realization that I have problems and that I should fix them and I'm the only one that can fix them, and you have to take responsibility is a huge leap. It's a really big one. You gotta, like, actually like, realizing the problems that you have and starting is the absolute hardest part of anything. Because I think we're so inherently scared of failure in just every aspect, but you can't fail what you don't start, you know? Like, you gotta try, and I think a lot of people are just scared to try. We have that one side of our brain that always is it's comforting us, and it's saying, like, "You're fine, you're perfect, like, you're okay, no matter what we're living," and then you got that other side that says, you gotta fucking change, dude."
Mhm.
The way I get up in the morning and I jog and I work out and I do all this, I just talk so much shit to myself. I say, "Get out of bed, pussy. Like, you gotta run, you gotta work out, you gotta do this, or else you're not doing anything. You're not taking a win today." Um, and I think it didn't take long for me to develop that mentality, but I think once you do, and you understand like the benefits, and especially if you start seeing results of something, it's truly addicting.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. It kind of loops into what we were talking about in take one about like competitive mentality. That's like in my opinion, what you just said is the beginning of competitive mentality. It's addicting. Start to see progress. You see, um, not the light at the end of the tunnel. I can't think of the analogy, but you start to see it grow almost. You
Mhm.
know,
For sure.
you can start to see where it's going, but you can also make the decision where you want to take it. You know, and then once
100%.
you have complete control over that, you can do anything with it, you know? Whether it's running, you wanna win a marathon, or you wanna be like a competitive runner or something like that, you can take it in a million different directions however you see fit.
Once it's in your hands, like when I started, I've only been on this whole new lifestyle, whatever. I don't mean to keep looping back to me, but it's like the only example I have. Um, when I started seeing results, even though they weren't negligible, but they weren't completely noticeable, I said, "Dude, I gotta keep doing this. I gotta win," you know? And
Mhm.
it's not like it's not like I would ever even want to stop. It's not like I'm just like, "Oh, okay, well, I reached this point, I can stop now." I want to keep going. Like I want to see it through to the end. And like when like I had one of my friends come to me like 2 weeks ago, and he was like, "You're talking about training and working out and whatever." And I said, excuse me, I said, "Dude, like I'm so excited. Like I'll show you through everything. I'll help you get started cuz like I know the benefits, and like I know what it can do for your mind and your body, and it makes you want to like not really push it onto other people, but like if somebody is even remotely interested, I would 100% help them through it because I feel that real winners, real people will want to pick others up instead of just, putting them down. Um, it's like you can say forever that I'm better than you, but that won't cause anyone to start anything. Um, and I like for as long as I've been doing this, I want to try and pick up as many people as possible that have even like the remote sense of interest in it. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's just someone like you, man, like you're a drumming god, right? You come to me with your idea of music and playing an instrument, and I'm like, I can get in on that. I can help you. I can help you grow. And I don't know if it's just my personality inherently where I'm just pretty intuitive with people and I kind of get it. Um, but I just really like helping people grow, dude. I just really like seeing people do things.
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta keep in mind, though, like, it's amazing to see somebody grow, but in my opinion, that's competition, especially if it's, like not really, but if it's, like, if
Well,
you
I
can
know I know that so well with you though. I know that so well with me and you and the gaming and everything. I totally get where you're coming from.
well, every conversation we have always comes back to competition. It's always competition is a threat, you know? You should always be humble. I mean, I don't sound very humble ever, but you should always be humble, like, never, like like, take DomoDrop, for example, you know? And this is not a dig towards you, but
Sounds like a dig.
it's not a dig, it's not a dig.
It's 100% a dig.
But Joe Rogan, right? And I know it seems like a giant jump,
You're saying the
but Joe
Lord's name.
Rogan has done it, and there's no and Joe Rogan, even as even from where you are now, is competition no matter what. And you could argue this and you can argue that, but there's no way that Joe Rogan would ever say like, "I'm better than you," blah 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 blah. Don't even try. You know, startups are encouraged. You know, chase it. You know, you should always
Of course.
chase it. But like Joe Rogan or whoever in any competitive thing will always be like, "Yeah, chase it." you know? He'd encourage you to be better than him.
That's a difference with me, though. I mean, I totally get what you mean, but I sorta have trouble doing that. Like, if I see dude, let's take John Frusciante from the Chili Peppers, right? He's such a great fucking guitarist. He's got so much melody. I look up to him so hard for playing and like all these artists I looked up to for music and inspiration and just what I create. I don't look at it as competition inherently because I sort of have trouble telling myself I'll be better than them. I'll surpass them. Like it drives me to know that there's this almost unattainable standard that I can potentially get close to or that I can potentially reach, but I never really say that I'll be better than that. I feel like when you take humility into account and saying, "Yeah, I can probably get here, or I can get here, I can do this," and you're content with that, that that's really all I need. But that also brings into the fact that when you're content, that's when you fail. Like if you build a
No.
perfect body and you're like, "Oh, I'm fine with this. I like this. I like the way I look," and you just stop working out, you're not gonna be as strong anymore. You shoot a gun, you're a really great shot. You don't pick up that gun for 3 years, you're gonna be horrible at it. This moment you're content, I feel, is the moment that you stop being at your best. There's
Well,
always higher.
there's always higher, but me and you are young guys, you know, we're young men, you know?
Yeah.
And then you say that to my dad, and he bounces that back as content is true success. When you're content with your situation and you're happy, that's true success. Me and you being young and, um, what's the word? Like,
With a lot of vigor,
yeah,
vitality.
or, what is, I can't think of the word. It starts with like an A. Ambitious. We're 2 young ambitious guys, you know? We both have dreams, we both have ideas, we're bouncing ideas, always talking about shit, you know? And I'm always talking to you about how, like, you see the guy at the top, we're gonna knock him to the bottom. We're gonna take over the world, you know? Or well, not actually, but you know what I mean, you know? We're gonna blow away the competition. We're gonna be the best there ever was. And then we bounce that ideas off like my dad or someone older than us, and they'll be like, "You should just do," and you always hear it from your parents or whoever you look up to, and it's just look for what makes you happy, look what makes you content. What they're really trying to like, they're trying to sell you on the idea of looking for what makes you content is not failure. If you're content with the situation, it's true success. You know, I don't know how you value success. I don't really know how I value success myself. It's more of the satisfaction that I get from attaining a goal or hitting a number in something, or you know, compared to games, compared to business, whatever, you hit a or you make a good stock trade, you know, whatever it is. But my dad would sit here and tell you for 2 hours about how success is like being content with the situation and just being genuinely happy.
Well, contentment in my definition, like I'm all for being happy with results. I'm all for like if you're like, yeah, I made substantial progress. Like I did this. Like if you're satisfied in yourself, like that's fucking awesome. I'm satisfied in myself a lot. You're definitely satisfied in yourself a lot. I'm satisfied when I talk to people, like you, like-minded people who sort of have that same mentality. But contentment for me is like if you stop working towards like what you want and you don't have that drive anymore, I feel like that's just, it's not it's failure. I don't want to say failure because it seems harsh, but like going back to what I said before, um, if you have like crazy gains, if you're an insane bodybuilder, like, and you just stop and you're like, yeah, I'm content with my body now. You're not really gonna have that body anymore. I feel like our definition of that is different, but
Well, what I
being like,
disagree.
sorry, yeah,
No, you're good. Um,
um, success, right? That was so awkward. We said like we don't know the definition of success because like I don't really think we've had a lot of success yet. We haven't had that we haven't had a lot of money. We haven't had like a real job or like all this. We got our whole world ahead of us. Um but I feel like once you realize that, then maybe contentment isn't as bad as I make it out to be. I don't know.
Well, I think that you're mistaking, like, which isn't completely wrong, but with content and quitting is what I get from what you just said about the bodybuilding analogy or whatever. If you just stop, you know, it's quitting. But if you're content and you hit like your big time goal and you don't long for anything else, you don't long like cuz some people aren't as competitive as me and they need to be the best at everything and they're not content until they're comfortably the best, you know? And like whatever it is, I'll point you out a million different things that I wish I did differently or a million different things I want to change to make it more efficient or whatever, you know? It's not being content. To me, at least, it's not being content with a situation or what I'm doing with my life is what keeps me going. I need to go and try it again or I need to change this or blah 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 blah. It's the never-ending cycle of not being content and always wanting to be, like, bettering myself is is
That's
what
kind of
makes me so competitive.
no, that's well, that's kind of what I mean. Um, I feel like if you have a passion, you have things you want to do, you have things that you know you could do, it'll lead you to living a more fulfilling life. And I know that's so cap coming from someone who's only 18 years of age, but you can ask adults, you can ask your idols, you can ask whoever, and you can hear it from the best, bro. Like you keep up these passions and you live your life to the fullest, you will achieve what the perception of happiness is, right? Like, but going back to what you said, um, contentment and quitting. I feel like, well, it could probably apply to different things. I feel like once you reach your end goal, you sort of just say like, "What now?" You know, like you reach something that you've wanted for so long, and it just finally comes to you, and you're like, "Well, I don't have anything to work towards anymore." Is that contentment or is that quitting?
No, I wouldn't call it either, you know? Like,
What do you think it is?
to me,
Like Bill
when
Gates,
you
right? Like
reach
this mega billionaire makes all this money, has this crazy company. You start as like a young Bill Gates and you want to build this empire and you finally do. What do you do from there? What is that called?
success, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't really know if there's a term for it, but it's it's I don't know. But Bill Gates is always like Bill Gates still. Like not to shoot down your analogy but Bill Gates is still doing a million different things. You know, he's still clawing at the walls looking for more opportunities for success. He's trying to, he's doing a million different things for the world. He's inventing new technologies, he's funding different projects, he's still like sure he did Microsoft and everybody like has a Microsoft computer, they're everywhere. It's the number one platform for a computer, but he like even after that, he's still looking for success in other ways.
Well, I
Eh,
feel like that's the ultimate end goal. I just used him because he's the first like rich person that comes to my mind, but definitely he's probably the opposite of that because he's found other ways to fulfill that void of nothingness. Like he does all the philanthropy and he's like he promotes hard work and he's not like he's not like these fucking fossils who made millions back in the day, right? Like during the Wall Street era and they just sit there and they're old. Like Warren Buffett, dude, super billionaire, but like what does he do now? You know? And
yeah.
speaking of the old days, dude, this is so off topic, but I think it's good to get into different topics. I saw the Epstein documentary the other day.
Did
I saw
you?
I saw the full thing on Netflix. I saw all the episodes, and I really wanted to check it out for a long time because he's obviously been a hot topic for a couple of years, but that shit's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It was
That
so insane, honestly.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember just being like completely stunned.
Yeah, yeah. I watched the full thing this week and I was just like, holy fuck, man. This guy did so much bad shit. and there's so many people like him, and it's just a crazy, like, you talk to someone who've let's say they've watched the Epstein documentary, they've dug into things like this, like the secret societies, right? Why do people like that have to justify themselves as conspiracy nuts? Or, like, as not that? Because that's kinda what's going on, that's what it feels like it's going on, you know?
Well,
Um, like, you talk about the underground, you talk about this hierarchy of government officials and people just doing all this crazy shit. Like, the Epstein Island, right? Um, in the Virgin Islands, it was, like, the pedophile island or whatever, that's what they called it. Dude, Bill Gates went to that island, like, a lot. Oh, no, not Bill Gates, sorry, Bill Clinton. He went to that island a lot, and then when they confronted him about it, he said he didn't, and people have said, "Yeah, I've seen Bill Clinton on that island," and he said, "Nah," even though the flight logs say Bill Clinton, like, he signed off, like, he wasn't there, like, is it not crazy to assume that that's, like, a thing that happens now? Is that, like, the deep underground of the government? Because it's kinda hard not to sound crazy when I talk about it, but, like, if you see that stuff, if you understand it, it's so tangible, it feels so real.
um, I don't, dude. I don't even like. To be honest, power is just such a corrupting tool. You know, it's like it's so untrustworthy to give out, and like I used to be big into conspiracy and stuff like that. Like the Jeffrey Epstein shit is not conspiracy, that's fact, you
Oh,
know?
yeah, no, for sure.
Like
That is
I had there's
hardcore
no
fact.
like well, it's not well, it's 99% fact, you know? He was a piece of
Well,
shit.
if that's a factual thing, like, it's not a conspiracy that he did all this and all this stuff happened, but I feel like you can derive a lot of conspiracy from it and sort of just go off on what may or may not be true, but there's a lot of evidence that sort of stacks up to that type of thing being true. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like the amount like maybe I was just too young, but before he like everybody exposed him, you know, I had no idea who that guy was.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Jeffrey
neither did I.
Epstein was.
I don't think a lot of people did.
Like this multi-million was he a billionaire? I don't remember.
His net worth when he died was 500,000,000.
Yeah, this multi-millionaire, hundreds of $1,000,000 like, there's a ton of people like that who have loads of money like that, and you have no idea who they are. They're just average people until
Yeah,
they
man.
get exposed for corruption.
Dude, where he lived in the nice part of Palm Beach, Florida, and that entire area where he lived is just multi-million dollar people. Like his neighbor, James Patterson, he's the author, he wrote like Maxim Ride and stuff like that. He was in the documentary and he was like, "Yeah, I lived right next to him." That guy's a multimillionaire too. Like everywhere there's these types of people and you don't even know it. And people with all that power and you don't even know it. I bet there's, like, a ton of people who knew Epstein and, like, who was in his circle that we still don't know about, but they're probably really fucking powerful people with all these connections, you know?
Mhm.
It's crazy to think about, honestly. There's a lot more wealthy people than we think. Like, we look at wealth as this unattainable standard for most people, um, but there's a lot of rich people, dude. Like, the typical definition of a rich dude is, like, Jeff Bezos or some sort of CEO of a large company that we know of, but there's a lot of rich motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, man, and it's
It's not just the top 1%, it's, like, probably the top, like, 5%, even though I'm pulling that out of my ass, but, like, you know what I mean? There's a lot more than we think.
yeah, for sure. Not not a lot well, they're definitely accounted for, you know, but
Yeah,
their names aren't public information. They're not a notable name. These are the names that we've been listing are notable names, you know. Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, in terms of money. Jeffrey Epstein because he got exposed, but nobody knew who he was before, but like when we think of rich people, we think of notable names, of unattainable wealth. Have you ever seen the comparison from Have you ever seen the comparison from a million seconds to a billion seconds? A million
Yeah,
seconds is like a week, and a
yeah.
billion seconds is like, I forget. It was a ridiculous number. Like 3.2 years, maybe 32 years.
I think it's around 30 years. Yeah. Just changing one letter of the word and like adding a few more zeros can change so much, dude. Like we're way closer to being millionaires than any of these people are because they're just they're so far above it. They're so close to that, like you said, that unattainable wealth.
Mhm.
It's insane to me. I don't know. I don't really go too deep into crazy Alex Jones government shit. Um I'm big on like, well, not big on it. I think it's cool to think about like fucking crazy aliens or like alien people, you know? But I don't go crazy into this, but after watching that documentary, bro, it really put things into perspective for me and just what's actually happening.
Well, the next big government scheme is aliens.
Yeah.
Just so you.
Yeah. Did you I talked about this last episode too. But you heard about that? The Israeli space chief?
Yeah, but he's a fucking. I don't believe that for shit. I think he's a nutcase.
Really? Dude
Yeah,
with
the
30
great
30 years under his
galactic.
belt.
Dude, have you
I
seen
heard
what
he said the
he said?
Galactic Federation. Have I seen
It's
what?
not Star Wars. He, everybody would know. It would be a major threat.
No, would we though? Would we though? Would
Yes,
we know?
yes, I promise you.
I don't think we
Government's
would.
not that crazy. There's shit that we don't know about, like military stuff and information we don't know about amongst ourselves, but something on the scale of space we would know about.
Maybe. But would we? Like would that be something that would be permissible to know by the public? Like cuz there's obviously, or maybe not obviously, there's definitely a ton of things that are hidden from us and kept under wraps and that we have no idea about what happens in Area 51. We don't know, but a lot of people do. Same deal with
Well,
the with the Galactic Federation. It sounds so stupid, bro. It sounds like some Rick and Morty shit.
I don't even like. He didn't say that they were hostile.
No, he didn't. He said that there's an underground base on Mars and they're commuting with the aliens. So they're chill. They're not gonna like vaporize us, but they said that we're not ready to meet the aliens. Humanity isn't.
I don't think. I think. I don't. I don't know, dude. Like, I don't think it would cause chaos.
Uh,
It's probable. It's kind of like based on science. It's probable.
well, you know the Fermi paradox, right?
Yeah.
It's the idea where the fuck are all the aliens? I think well, a new sort of, I guess, like idea to that theory came about recently where it was like all the civilizations that were in the Milky Way galaxy vaporized themselves. They grew to such a point of power, they reached the Great Filter and they just destroyed themselves. So there's no civilizations anymore in the Milky Way galaxy. That's a new theory that was like just posed. I read it online like a week ago. And we could be like the pinnacle of civilization right now, which is really scary to think about.
No, we're not even a type 1 civilization yet.
Yeah, we're not even close, but maybe in our galaxy, if that is probable, if I mean, I know galaxy is a massive scale, but if that theory is correct, that all civilizations before reached the reached the height of innovation and just absolutely destroyed themselves, which humans are capable of in the next couple thousands of years, then maybe it's not crazy to think that we're alone right now. I don't like to think that, but that might be what's going on.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're ever gonna get the type 1 unless we all coexist, not to get onto the world peace
No, dude,
subject,
fuck it. Let's go for it. Like,
but world peace is just like I mean, I'm not a big politics guy, so I'm gonna spew a lot of shit here, but like humans are too competitive and like tribal almost, I want to say, to like coexist. Like it's all like it's all mumbly jumbly. Like we're not. I don't even think we're the type to coexist. like kids fight at high schools from an early age. It's primitive. These kids who know nothing, I mean, we just graduated, but who cares, These kids who know nothing are brawling with each other. Like, if you look at high school, right? Like, with social hierarchy and shit, and you wanna really break it down, high school is so primitive at its core. Kids fighting over girls, blah, 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 and it's monkey-like. It's
Well,
ape-like.
I'll do even better, man. I've seen a lot of nature documentaries recently. Let's take it back even further. Animals, primitive animals, well, not even primitive, just animals in our ecosystems, they fight all the fucking time. There's imbalances, there's alpha males, there's betas, there's the one in the pack that provides for everything, and then there's the betas, right? And inherently, animals don't really coexist either. They coexist with themselves. Like you see gorillas, they're gonna exist with gorillas, unless some gorilla's like fucking up the other one's turf. But animals, there's not some world peace with animals either. Less primitive creatures. Like that sort of goes back into human primal instincts way back in the day, or even not even fucking day, just way back thousands of years, ever since we've existed. Wars, tribes, uh, sects, fucking, cliques, whatever. It's inherent to our nature that there's fighting, there's conflict, and there's disagreement. And I don't think we as creatures, as living things, are capable of reaching a point of that. Um, just on our own devices, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's doable if with infinite. You're gonna see my communist side on this podcast,
Oh
but
my
I
god.
think I think it's doable with if we had infinite energy, like it's well,
Dyson sphere.
not near
Dyson
infinite,
sphere.
but not a Dyson sphere. Dyson sphere is like type two, closer to type two, but like a fusion reactor, right? Just infinite raw energy. I think we could do it. I think we could. I think because that's
So you think
attainable.
because of the imbalances in the world already, if we fixed all that shit, if we fixed the energy crisis, if we fixed the economy, if we fix all this, then world peace would be a little more achievable.
Well, the issue with energy is to humans, to me, right? On my very basic, unintelligent take on it, is energy is too expensive. Like
It is. It definitely
it's
is. It's too
so it's
costly.
just the idea of energy. Burning fossil fuels is too expensive.
Yeah.
A fusion reactor would cost. It would take years to like fully develop and build, and we don't even know if it'll work. But it's in my opinion, I think it's doable from the minimal amount of knowledge I have about it. I'm not a physicist, but like that's the key. That's the key to progress is because it's like people have these ideas of resource war and we're already fighting over oil. We make jokes about going to war over oil. Like
But
that's the
that's
key.
that's that's a legitimate thing though. That's a legit thing that happens. And um you don't have to keep justifying it with like, oh, I don't know. Like it's a clear solution. You don't have to be a nuclear physicist to understand. If we had infinite energy, if we had like we switched from fossil fuels to nuclear energy to more renewable sources of energy that could provide us with infinite possibilities, that could definitely fix a lot of things. But, nuclear power scares us, right? That scares humans
Well, yeah,
because
because fusion gets weaponized, and we're in another Cold War. Whenever
Chernobyl, yeah, and
yeah,
it happens a lot.
we have a fusion bomb now. You
Yeah.
know, even though it would just dissipate into the air and whatever, but because it's really just a tiny star. It just it would
Just a supernova, pretty much.
no, it wouldn't explode. Well, it probably I don't know. I'm not a physicist, but from what I know, it would be like if you sent a nuke into the ocean. It gets
I saw that Chris
compressed by the
Kasai video, bro. The Mariana Trench where he drops the nuke in the Mariana Trench or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what
It
happened.
the pressure of the atmosphere would like force it down, and it would create a lot of heat for a little bit. But
Yeah. It would just be a big fireball in the ocean, but it wouldn't like crazy explode.
Yeah. That's really where I get all my crazy information is. I watch a Kurzgesagt video and I get interested and I go and read papers online.
That's how you do it, bro. That's I think that's what those channels are for pretty much. I don't go too deep into it, but I'll just have a few weeks where I'll just go on educational videos, TED videos. I fucking love TED. Um, and just straight up learn about new things. Because if I didn't watch a lot of those videos, I wouldn't even know what the fuck we're talking about. But I have, you know.
In my opinion, going back to the nature thing, even though I didn't respond to your last comment, was
Okay.
to make progress in any way, like major, like this is gonna sound super fucked up and like a weird kind of way, but we have to start accounting for like not so much like human nature, you know, like it's really what politics are for, but I don't really think politics do it justice. You know, you have to start like I don't want to say dehumanize, but like we're too uh
Emotional.
we coexist, you know, we're like humans by nature want to we want to be in packs like wolves, you know, we want to be around people and stuff, but we like we're too independent as people, you know, everybody's too independent, you know, and like the political parties I feel like don't do it justice. That it's too broad. We have to narrow it down or we have to broaden it out more, you know, and not broaden it out as mean like make the Republican Democrat parties grow and accept more people. I mean it like I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it.
Well, you're taking it as a political stance, but what I inferred from it was that you're saying that it's an inherent human quality. It's inherent to human nature to want to be with people because humans need to be with people. That's you have a lot of requirements in life. You have food, water, shelter, and you need interaction. Because if you don't have interaction, you're gonna go fucking crazy. But saying it from a political standpoint, you say that we need to be more independent, or no, we need to be in groups to grow. Is that what you mean?
No, we need to like not groups, like not, but we need to be like less ourselves, if you know, like
I guess so. I guess like well, political polarization is just a whole other thing, but it sort of factors into it. Where George Washington founded the country on we don't want political parties, um, and it clearly shows. It's just contributed to division and polarization in people and social media. This is kind of another topic, but social media for sure, man. It's definitely divided us even more than we could comprehend. Um, so I guess I know what you mean, but
well,
maybe we need
it
AI. We need an AI
no,
super brain.
no, I don't think that either. But I think that in today's day and age, I mean, everybody's entitled. I'm all for opinions, but there's too many. Like some opinions need to be shot down. You know, like not
I
not
know what you mean,
fucking
but it's just funny.
tyranny, but like there's there's too many independent opinions. You know, like there needs to be more compromise. Like no,
I'll
like everybody like we have to function more as a group because right now, like not so much political parties, but right now with like all these different groups and shit, you know, it's just way too many independent opinions and it needs to be broadened out and it needs to be like worked out as a whole instead of a bunch of different groups, you know?
well, I think I love the way you phrased it, but I think the word you're looking for is consensus. We need consensus on a lot of things. Um, but I just think with the way we are and the way things have been, I don't think that's attainable. I don't think it's possible. There will always be different opinions. There will always be people that don't agree, and they could say they agree, but they really don't, you know? And that sort of factors back in what we were talking about with world peace. Like, there's always going to be a crazy North Korea country that wants to control. There's always going to be one that wants to take another piece of the pie. You know, it's just it's what it is. And I don't think we're going to get past our primal inherent instincts of what makes us who we are. Um, on the most basic biological and psychosocial levels, I don't think we can get past that. because that's what we are, you know? We would need to be like cyborgs. We would need
Yeah.
to lose emotion. We would need to lose our own qualities, and we would need to be enhanced to work together, in a sense.
Listen, I hate group projects, but this is the best analogy I have to try because I have like I can't put what I think into words, you know. But I
You're
hate
doing a
group
pretty good job
projects,
now, though. You're
but
doing good, bro.
like people need to not contribute for themselves. They have to contribute to a group. That's how we have to do it for like not because I want to and I'm gonna go out and fight for this bill, or I'm gonna go out and protest because of this, or I'm gonna go on strike because I'm not getting paid enough. Like people need to contribute to everybody. No, not enough people contribute to everybody to make a difference. And once everybody gets that idea in their head that we all need to contribute for the better of us all, then it will make sense, you know?
No, absolutely. Dude, that's how the human race was when in our developing years, in our years of creating civilization, and you look at it, there's another example. You have hive minds, you have colonies of ants, you have bees. They work to the greater whole. They work for the hive, they work for the colony, and they all sort of unite together under one sort of mind to accomplish their goal. And here's an even another more relevant example. You know that episode of Rick and Morty where they go to the hive mind planet and they like vomit on each other to take over their mind?
I think so. Yeah, when they get the little things on their heads.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Like um they were saying, I think that's kind of what the episode was based off of, but they were like, yeah, we have no more racism. We've attained world peace because we don't think differently. We're under one mind and we're under um we're like we're attaining progress. We're at the pinnacle. But you have to not let your emotive side get in the way because as I'm talking about this, and I'm sure as you're talking about this, it's sort of like, oh, well, what about all this that would go away? And like, what about, emotion? And that's sort of just the eternal debate of whether emotion and I guess logic can coexist with one another and really create progress. You know,
Yeah.
is progress a viable sacrifice for humans as emotive creatures?
Well, it doesn't have to be so dystopian as that. Like, I'm not saying no emotion, you know? I'm all for opinions. Everybody's opinion has to be accounted for. But I'm just saying that like opinions aren't like if you look back, you know, everybody has their own take on something, but with the last two generations, millennials and us, you know, well, me and you are technically millennials. I found out.
I've
But
had this debate with you forever, but we're not millennials, we're Gen Z.
no, dude.
Yes,
2002 and on or 2002 and to 1983 is millennial, and then 2003 and on is Gen Z.
your numbers are wrong, bro. Millennials ended in 95.
Dude, you can take up Michael from Vsauce on it.
I can take up like any other. Well, actually, I don't want to fuck with Michael from Vsauce. That's kind of an undeniable source,
Hold
but
on, I gotta fill in Sheeb's spot.
yeah, Google that shit.
Millennial years. Oh, well, this is not the same.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
It's 1995. That's the cutoff.
not according to Google.
What did Google say? Because we're not. I know we're not millennials, bro.
No, it's the newest generation to be named, born between. Oh, all right. Well, one day you'll have Michael on here, and I'll stop by for 2 seconds, and I'll be
Ah,
like,
dude,
Michael,
if I had Michael Stevens on, oh my god, I want to meet him.
I want to meet him too.
I just want to bounce ideas off him, even though he seems like way too smart for me. But I feel like you do a really good job of explaining things, because that's really what his whole channel is. He's explaining it for dumb people. I tried to watch the Banach-Tarski paradox video like 3 times in a row, and I still didn't get it.
It's not duplication. It's just math. That's just math.
Yeah, I know, but like, it isn't the end result duplication though? Like, he did the thing with the circle, and then he made the exact same thing, but he used math for
Mathematically,
it? Yeah.
But you
So
can't.
it's
I can't turn my laptop 30 degrees and get a laptop and a sixth of a laptop, and then turn the sixth
so
of the laptop another way. It's all math. It's just like it's points on a graph. It's not. You take a piece of wood and you rotate it a bunch of times. Now you have two pieces of wood.
I guess it's possible on the mathematical level, but it's not possible on a cellular level because like matter cannot be created or destroyed or all that junk, right?
No, it's
It's just
just
saying that it's mathematically
it's
possible.
just technicalities. It's just like it's it's the motions that he does. So I could watch the video side by side and try and break it down into bytes, but it's not real. Like that's not real. Like you can't do that. Like just because you rotate an atom doesn't make more of an atom or another piece of the atom. He broke up a sphere of points into six different pieces and rotated those spheres, the points that he broke. Like, so you remember the part in the video when he had
Yeah,
the
he,
six?
he drew he drew the whiteboard and he did all the points. He did the point in the middle, and then he did the points around the circumference, right? And then he just started mapping to each other, and then he would rotate them.
Yeah.
And then in the end, you see the sphere, and it looks like it's duplicated, pretty much.
Well, it's just because. So I don't remember the specifics of the video. Like I can't quote the video, but um, it's the way that you rotate it that you can like not mathematically but like technically with air quotes or graphically you created the same subset of points because you can turn. So the way the points were broken up is it was like up left and stuff. You remember that
Yes.
part?
Yeah.
So you can like if you rotate it up a point, it changes and it adds another subset of points because you created out of it's hard to explain. That's why it's a paradox, but it makes sense a little. It's not
Does I forget what he says in the video. Can that be applied to anything?
in no. I mean, not really. Like no, because it's not like an in theory. It's not like an in theory kind of thing. It's not like I turn my phone. It can't really be applied anywhere.
But he's just showing that something like that
Yeah, by
exists.
using math, this is possible.
Yeah.
Possible mathematically. That you can do it mathematically. You could do it with data, but you couldn't do it with a chair.
Hmm.
Not data in terms of like universal data, and we're all data. You've heard about that. You know what I mean? Like data with like zeros and ones with like
Yeah, binary
numbers.
code and shit. Yeah. Speaking of binary, simulation theory.
No, no, I'm not having this conversation. I
Dude,
veto. I veto this conversation in
we've
front
gone
of your
so
audience.
deep already. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. We're at the end of the universe. We're in the Kurzgesagt video where it's like the egg. That's where we are right now.
I don't like that.
You don't like that? It's too existential.
No, it fucked with my head, dude. I watched that video and I
That's
felt like I got
existential.
punched in
That's
the
what it
face.
is. Yeah. Well, is that well, I'm gonna fuck
I
with
don't
your head
like
here.
that I am you and I'll grow up to be a god someday. And when after I've lived every human life, I'll be a god. I don't like that. I don't. It fucks with my head.
It fucks with our tiny human brains because we can't comprehend it in the slightest.
No, it's just it's not that we can't comprehend it because I could regurgitate it back to you, but it's the fact that it's such a weird thing to think about.
Not that we can't understand what it is, but like the idea of living multiple lifetimes and becoming some astral fucking cosmic force that is incomprehensible. The size of the universe is incomprehensible. You can't imagine a light year. You can't imagine how far something is because you've never experienced anything remotely close to it. You've probably experienced like a 24-hour drive, but that's like a 0.000000, etc. percentage of a light year. So things like that you can't physically comprehend. Your brain doesn't have a point of reference.
Yeah, a light year is 5.879 to the 12th power
Isn't that
miles.
fucking crazy? To the 12th, bro. How big the like you put 2 to the 10th? I don't know how much that is, but that's a big number. Just simply like putting an exponent of 10.
Yeah, it that shit fucks with my head too, and it's
Does
only
the
growing.
distance, man.
Only it's only the universe is only growing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I saw like this animated video. It was like the entire history of the universe or some shit. And it
Mhm.
was just showing that the universe, well, obviously the universe is gonna die at some point, and then it'll just become black holes in like
Until black
14,
holes decay, Hawking
yeah,
radiation, and then
yeah, just like in 14 billion years or some shit. Like,
quantum tunneling. Dude, the ending of that Kurzgesagt video is so wild because that's another Kurzgesagt video about heat death. Is that
yeah,
quantum tunneling will everything will eventually not fuse. I forget what it's called, but everything will eventually become iron, and iron can't become anything else, and that's when it's nothing. And that amount of time is so unmeasurable. There's not even a number for it because it's so incomprehensible.
yeah, exactly. Like we're so fickle, dude. We're so just it doesn't matter. I
Well,
used to I used to have a pretty nihilistic perspective on a ton of things. I used to have that like, oh, well, we're alone and like we're so small and all this, but I don't think nihilism is too hard to turn into something positive. There's like optimistic nihilism where people take pride in the fact that we are what we are and how small we are, and it's more
well,
so the wonder of the universe that intrigues people.
if you think about it, like because I've thought about it a little, there's so much wasted energy in terms of in a human idea that in the universe there's so much wasted energy, you know, like if humans were ever to become godlike and we could harness the power of multiple stars and we could have these energy like crazy energy batteries, we could live longer than like in theory, you know,
Yeah,
we
it's
could
possible.
yeah, we could harness the power like the power outputted by a star and blah 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 and all the stars could die and we would have we because stars like if you're at that point, stars are just batteries to you, and all the stars could die, and it would take so long for all the stars to die that if humans were still around, the amount of energy that we'd have saved up, we could probably live for way longer.
No, we definitely could, but it's also goes back to the idea of what we were talking about of reaching our fullest potential. Isn't that like isn't that like alien scale? Isn't that like the Kardashev scale or some shit? Isn't that what that's called?
Yeah, it's type 1, type 2, type 3, and then
Yeah.
theorized type 4 and type 5.
We're
Yeah.
like at we're like at point 0.7. I think I heard that somewhere that we're like a point 0.7, point 0.6 civilization. It's possible for humans to, of course, reach those limits in the thousands and thousands of years that it would take before we potentially reach our own annihilation. Um, it's certainly possible, but like just for the way that we are as creatures, right? It's like, would that even is that even feasible?
Yeah.
Just like looking at the way things are now, like will we grow? Will we, outlive this weird reality that we're in and ascend above it? It's crazy to think.
Well, we're talking on a scale like that. We're gonna loop back to aliens, or I'm gonna loop back to aliens. I don't think that
Just a ton of loops.
yeah, a bunch of loops back to everything. I don't think that that's a reality.
You don't think what is a reality? Galactic
Well,
Federation shit?
over a time scale like that, we really wouldn't be like humans anymore. I don't think. I like we would evolve a couple times, a couple thousand times.
Oh, definitely.
It would be like on a scale like that, people growing up on different planets, survival of the fittest would happen in its own way, not in like an animalistic way, but almost in like a selective breeding way to where like because if we're gonna talk like that, people would be unrecognizable. If we had a time machine and we went, and in the perfect scenario, and humans were still around millions of years in the future, like there wouldn't even be. There would still probably be humans, but there would be a billion different differations and new bunch of shit that we didn't account for. That like we dream of these millions of years in the future, and we don't account for like simple shit like evolution. Like that would be an unrecognizable. Babies born in space with false gravity, how it affects the body, and then slowly but surely you have this different breed who are more adapt to 0G environments and different types of gravity. You'd have shorter people and blah 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 blah.
Well, we'd probably lose like our nipples and our toes because those are useless body parts and stuff. But like back in the 20th century, like back in the like sci-fi era of like the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, when people were really imaginative, they were like, this is what the world is going to look like in blah how many years. I mean, it was a significantly shorter time frame. We weren't considering like evolution, but we were considering like new technologies. We were so fucking off. Like on the scale that we're talking about, right? We'll do like CRISPR gene. Well, no, I don't think it's the right thing. Like CRISPR DNA, I think, is where you like genetically engineer humans to have desirable traits.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would just pick the best traits. We would just genetically engineer every single person to have immunity to every single disease, to have perfect health, perfect like everything. And of course, we'd probably be unrecognizable. Like I can't really imagine what a baby born in space looks like. I know there's a Vsauce video, but I didn't watch it. But um, you can't really take those things into account because you're like, what can look so different from me? Because we don't really look too different from our ancestors. We don't look too different from Neanderthals, or like when we looked like more ape-like. An
Yeah.
ape really isn't that different from a human. So how much more different could we look? You know.
Mm-hmm. It's so hard to think about. It's just, again, we're making another loop here. Just something that like you can dream of forever, and you'll still be super off, and it's just something that your brain can't like wrap its head around.
I love this shit, dude. I really like thinking about all this shit. I don't know what that says about me or like what I could do with my life, but just in general thinking about it, and I'm thankful to have someone like you, bro, who actually understands it, and like what I talk about and I know what you talk about. And I like that because I feel like discussion, true open-mindedness with people, it really helps to think about things. And it kind of makes you more appreciative of the reality that you're in. At least for me.
The open mind, something
Yeah.
I always keep in mind when I play the drums all the time.
Dude, of course, you can enter flow state at will. You can just do it.
Whenever I shred on the drums, I always keep an open mind, James.
Yeah, I know. I know you do. I've seen it happen. We've played multiple gigs and you just go crazy.
Definitely. Definitely not a false story we're gonna put on the internet about me.
No, it's true. It's so true. You're like, yeah, dude, I play the drums. And I said, play chop suey. And you said, I can't play that shit. And then
You're right. Just try.
that's
Keep
how
an
your
open
drumming
mind.
career
Just
that's how
try.
your
Keep an
drumming
open
career
mind, and
started.
I went went insane.
Oh my god. Is this a 4-hour podcast?
It's been like an hour.
I know, but will it be a 4-hour
I
podcast?
don't know, man. We gotta see what's open on Sundays for
That's
Grubble with
that
Gobble.
Grubble.
Grub with Grub.
Dude, I actually have the best name of all time. I should just be known as Gubble, like to DomoDrop. It's like, sup guys, it's Gub. This is Grub with Gub.
Grub with Gub. Every Wednesday, you do a food review podcast by yourself.
That would be so fucking miserable, bro.
That'd be funny as hell, though.
That'd be so dumb.
You'd
I
have
I
the report of the week on as a guest.
dude, I like the way that I do the podcast now because I feel like I'd be so much different if I did like if I sat across from you and was talking to you. I feel like I'd be way different than if I was like over the phone. Not to say that I can't be real with you. Of course I can. But I feel like if like I did this type of thing with a lot of people and it was in person, I wouldn't be as like I guess host like as I am on here, you know?
I feel
Because
like
this
if we did
is
it in
completely
person,
virtual.
it would be. I feel like because my personality kind of changes a little when I'm in person, you
Yeah,
know,
mine does. Yeah.
and I would just crack a lot of jokes. I'd be like the true Uncle Joey to everybody, you know.
Yeah. Well, Uncle Joey will probably come eventually, but I
Uncle
gotta
Joey.
say, man, you don't give me Uncle Joey vibes in this episode.
Well, we got right into like actual conversation pretty fast. You know, we bounced around.
I'm down with that. That's kind of how I like to do it. Like I there's a difference between a podcast and an interview where it's like, "Oh yeah, how you doing? Like I'm gonna fucking ask you some questions, yeah." And they sit down, they ask the actor a bunch of questions, and it's so one-sided. But this is just a conversation, and you can ask some questions in between. But like, I just like how freeform this is, you know?
Yeah, man. Free
Uh,
form.
freeform. That's the word I like to use every single time I talk about it.
Well, as long as it's personalized to you, man, it's all really about what you want to do. Well, you and Sheebs, I guess. But like it's however you want to take it, you know? Like you saw something that you wanted to do, you know, and you're going for it, you know, and you're having a lot of fun doing it and you're enjoying it. You know, people are excited to be on this show or the podcast, whatever you want to call it. And you know, it floats your boat, you know.
I think so, man.
So I mean, go if you going back content
I
right
hate
now,
this fucking derivative conversation,
right
dude.
now, you're
Oh,
content.
this is full circle. This is like
This is
full
this is
circle.
content, James. This is content. This is what I mean.
This is
You know,
content?
yes, this is content. You're content with how it is now. You know, you like it over Discord and you like it freeform. Blah 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 blah. You know,
Yeah,
this isn't scripted. This is,
not at
you
all.
know,
No, it's totally scripted. I'm actually reading everything off of paper to you.
yeah, dude. So am
Yeah.
I. I have your email up right now. But
Oh, cool. Yeah. Gubble6969 at Gmail. That's me.
you're content with it. There's nothing you want to change. Well, I'm sure there's a little that you want to change, but
There's a lot I want to change. I want to expand it. I want to keep
well,
working
that
to
comes with time.
yeah.
You got to keep in mind that you're doing it on a social media, and social media is not easy.
Not at all.
But that should drive you. That it
Hey, man,
shouldn't
listen,
intimidate you. It should drive you.
I I've always really wanted to get into podcasts, obviously. Because it's just like it's not too intensive. And I'm not saying I don't like doing hard things. I do, but I like how laid back it is. I like how people are down for it, and I just want to try and give like the best, most chill experience that people can have a lot of fun with. And um I don't do it for anyone else. I do it for me, and I do it for Sheeps, and we do it for each other. Um but like I just really like doing it. And I guess I am content with the fact that yeah, I'm in this rhythm and we're doing episodes every week and we have a ton of people lined up. That's super awesome for me. And I'm really glad I'm actually getting into it. Um but it's of course it's like it's hard to reach more people for sure. And I just like I not to sound pretentious, um but like I do of course want people to hear it.
Well, of
for sure.
course. You want people to hear it. You want like I mean, it's not like this is a bad thing, you know?
Not at all. No.
It's, there's no reason for people to not want to hear it unless I could think of a reason. If you had like a bad guest on or something, be careful with me and
I
by the way.
be
Be careful.
careful, dude. He's supposed to be on like Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tuesday, dude. Tuesday.
maybe. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see the scheduling. Um, but people have obviously messaged me. People have messaged Sheaves. And I've reached out to a couple of people, asking like, let's do this. Like, I want to talk. Um, because like this is I don't want to say going back because we haven't really talked about this at all, but this is a little personal. Like in school, bro, like I was a really quiet kid. I wore all black. I had long hair. People were fucking scared of me. I think a lot of people were scared of me. But after high school, and I just stopped giving a fuck about everything, I really mellowed out and I really changed. And I wasn't really,
Your
I
white
wasn't,
clothes now.
I do wear a little bit of white now. I wasn't a dick in high school. I just like, I never really had an opportunity to say anything. And I feel like now that I have this, I can say whatever the fuck I want. I can talk to anyone I want. And it's like, it's really cool to be able to do that. Because you can probably tell, like, just from this episode alone and just how much I've done this, I have a lot to say. I have a lot of shit to say. Um,
Then harp on it. Well, don't harp on it. That was the wrong word. I meant it as like as like use it to your advantage.
no, I definitely do. I do for sure. Um, and if people think the podcast is fucking lame, then it's like, all right, it's lame, whatever. But I still love doing it, and I still want to do it, and
And
I want
that's
to get
all
as
that
many
matters.
people on as possible. Yeah, like if I did this in 12th grade, I would never upload the first episode. After the first episode, I was so nervous. I was like, dude, I sounded so stupid. I fucking hated it. But I'm like, it doesn't matter because I had fun doing it. And that can pretty much go for anything, really. You can't give a fuck. You have to have a mentality that I don't care what I look like. I don't care what you say. I don't like it doesn't matter. It does not matter to me in the slightest anymore.
Mhm.
So, yeah, this isn't really like a I bet it would probably give a lot of people the impression that the podcast is like a way for me to out my emotions. It's definitely not. It's just like uh it's just fun and it's just something I like to do. So,
Well, that's all that matters at its core, you know? I agree with everything you said. Well, not a well, it wasn't much to agree with, but, like, your motives, I agree with, is what I meant.
yeah. Yeah, that's really the crux of it, dude. And there's a lot of personal motivation, but there's also a lot of external motivations of just like this looks really fucking fun. Like this looks cool. This is something I want to do. And every episode just feels like another what's the word? Like another accomplishment, I guess. Like when I put this up, I'm gonna be like, dude, this was great.
Progress.
Yeah.
It's progress.
Everyone just feels like another step. What the end goal is, I don't know. I don't really think there is one, but
For
it's
something
just
like this, in my opinion, there should be no end goal, and that's not a dig at you. What I
no,
mean by
not at all.
that is you should just see where it goes and do it because you love it. Or not well, you didn't say love it, but do it because you like it and you have fun doing it.
Yeah. Well, I do love it. I love being able to like talk so freely and not really care about anything and not have any reservations of like, oh, what do I look like? How do I sound? Like, am I making eye contact? I can do all that, but my mind will be racing the entire time. With this, it's very therapeutic where I can just sort of let my mind go and I can just talk, bro. I can just talk to someone and they can talk to me.
Mhm.
So, yeah, this is like too personal for my taste. I feel
Too
like
personal.
I'd go deeper on some things, but I feel like when you talk about the driving force behind the thing that you're doing in the moment, it's just I don't know, it's kind of weird. Maybe I sound like an asshole.
I don't really think you sound like an asshole.
Yeah, I hope not.
People are
Yeah,
gonna think
but
I sound like an asshole.
nah, nah. Dude, I used to be pretty judgmental of people. When I met you, you didn't really sound like that, and even when you did sound like that, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I just didn't care. That's just
Half
you.
the time I sound like an asshole is because I'm angry. I'm like pissed about something.
Well, I think saying, like, I sound like an asshole, if you know the person and they're like, "I sound like this," like, you know who they are, it kinda invalidates the entire thing. Like, I know who you are. I like to think I know you very well, but, like, when you say, like, "I hope I don't sound bad when I say this," like, I know you're not a bad person, I know you don't have those like, you're not a bad dude, so therefore I don't really care, you know? I'll just
Mhm.
listen, which I guess I wish I could do for some other people because there's a lot of fucking assholes, dude. I know a lot of really, like, dumb people and a lot of really mean people, but if I really knew them, I'd be like, "Okay, well, that's where this is coming from." It's
No,
all just a
no.
breakdown.
You sound like my dad. My dad, I talk about my dad a lot, but my dad has a lot of faith in people, and I don't have a lot of faith in people. You know,
How so?
like if I deem you an asshole in my head, you're an asshole until you prove me wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
Like, yeah, I guess that goes with me too a little bit.
but like, someone like someone will be a dickhead and then show me their true colors, and like sometimes I'm still like, yeah, you're just a piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like someone
Yeah.
will, like, have, like, a fake excuse for why they do something or why they act like that, and it's just, like, it's the most transparent thing to me, and I still think they're a piece of shit.
Well, I guess, yeah, if I see someone do something and they act a certain way, I'm like, "Yeah, you're a fucking dick." But I don't really harp on the fact that I'm like, "Oh, there's definitely some childhood trauma that's causing them to act this way." Like, I don't give a
James,
fuck.
James,
I don't care.
we went to
But
the mall,
yeah.
what, on
Oh my god, I know what you're
Tuesday.
gonna say. I know exactly
On
what you're gonna say.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
You remember who were
I
following
know,
following us
yeah.
around the mall?
I know
You
exactly.
really care about what happens
I
at
don't.
home?
I don't give a fuck about them, bro. They're dicks. For the
Bro,
people at
I hope,
home
like,
for the
not to
people at
call
home,
shots at some kid, but I like, he that kid was an asshole.
both of them were, bro. For the people at home, Fink and I went to do some Christmas shopping, right? And we just had some people following us around growling at us like fucking dogs, like going after some steak. It was like, "What are you doing?" And we didn't really say anything, but I'm just like, "Yeah, they were fucking dicks." So it really depends on the person. Like, I mean it more from a perspective though, like, if I know who you are and you're just being a dick, I'm like, "Okay, well, there's probably something wrong here." But for, like, our fucking growling gorilla ape friends at Smith Haven, dude, like, they're just dicks, and I don't care.
James, I hope that if we ever went back to the mall and I started growling at people, you'd punch me right in my fucking mouth, dude.
I tell you to stop, like, I'd be like, "What the fuck are you
Who the
doing?"
fuck does that? Who the fuck follows kids like they were like younger than us too. Like
They
who the
definitely
fuck
were. They were probably still in high school. I don't know why they did that, dude. I don't know why people do a lot of things.
I don't know. I have a lot of funny stories about, but like I have friends who will do that shit too. Like
What, just to random people?
yeah, just or like not really, but like I have friends who will someone will do something like dickish to them and they'll like make fun of them and do stupid shit like that to them. But I don't know. Like those that was just like one of the weirdest Smith Haven Mall experiences I've ever had,
No,
honestly.
one of many, dude, for real. It's not even really worth it most of the time though, like, we were saying, we're like, we should probably say something, but also it's like, why does it matter? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I don't understand like why I got so heated. Like
I
I got
know,
so angry when they did that the first time
and I did it again, and
at
it's no big
Spencer's,
deal that
dude.
yeah.
Those the kids at the mall.
It's just one of many examples, bro. I've had so many people do dumb shit like that. I was at an Iron Maiden concert and some dude threw a beer at my dad.
So
I
weak.
was I was a young kid and I wasn't gonna do anything, but I was like, why the fuck would you do that to my dad, bro? Like, I've had so many dumb concert experiences of just people. If you ever want to find assholes, bro, go to a concert. It's
I got
probably just the
lost at the music festival one time.
what music festival?
The Bay, the one that's on, you know, the music
Oh, Great
festival?
South Bay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, with
I got lost
Sublime
there
and
one time
311.
in 7th grade. What?
With Sublime and like 311, dude. They played there like every summer.
Sublime plays there?
Yeah. Well, like Sublime with Rome after the fucking singer died, but like Sublime still
Yeah.
plays there. Yeah. Dude, I have so many good experiences with concerts. I was on a hot streak from like 9th to 11th grade where I went to so many concerts. Um, but I went to a music festival in I think summer of 17, and I wanted to go see Chili Peppers so bad because they were there and my family got lost. So I just got completely lost from my family. So I was just in a crowd with a bunch of people, like 13-year-old kid, and I was just living, dude, and everyone was behind me. I didn't know where the fuck my family was, but I was just there and I was living it. I didn't give a fuck.
That's awesome. I
I gotta
wanna
go
see
to
really bad.
it was really good. We gotta go to some concerts, man, especially when they come back. I feel
Yeah.
like I feel like it's too optimistic though for like musicians and artists to be like, we have all these headline shows in 2021. There's no guarantee you're playing that show, dude. Like all of my favorite artists and bands and like whatever, like they have all these crazy tour plans and like Europe tour, and it's like you're probably not gonna be able to play it, dude. And people are already buying tickets. Like it's just a mess.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't get the music industry. I just know that it's an evil place.
Why do you say that?
Well, you listen to any artist talk, like, cause I like to hear what people have to say. I like to hear what artists have to say, like my favorite musicians and stuff, and they'll tell you the music industry is just a cesspool of completely fucked up executives, and they'll fuck over artists. Like, um, a lot of like artists in the '90s, they lost like millions of dollars because the record companies would just take all their money and they would be destitute.
Mhm.
It happened a lot, and it sort of just promotes an idea of like glamour and fame and like, oh, look at this fucking image, like this rapper or whatever. He looks like a badass, but behind the scenes there's some really shady business going on. So yeah, man, I don't trust business. Big business is not your friend. Google's not your friend. Amazon's not your friend.
Government's not your friend.
That's the big one.
That's the
Cops,
big one.
cops aren't your friends either. Like, how you doing, bro? How you doing, buddy? What are you doing tonight? It's like, why do you care? You're just trying to fulfill a quota.
I hate cops. Well,
I do. I
I
don't like a lot of
I
cops
don't
either.
hate cops, I'm scared of cops.
Oh, well, that's different.
I'm
I'm
very
scared of cops
scared.
too, man.
Dude, it's just because 'cause I've had so many bad fucking experiences with cops when I was a kid that they scare the shit out of me. I mean, well, my mom's boyfriend's, like, a cool guy when he's not in uniform, but cops in uniform, like, fuck no.
Yeah, because they're on the job. They're
Yeah,
probably
it's and
totally
they're
different
always
people when
on
they're
edge
not.
because the world
Yeah.
is fucked up, dude. Like, I'm like, dude, my name's literally fucking Chris, Christian, you know? Like, he's gonna look at my license and be like, "What up, Chris?" You know? Like, I'm not gonna my registration's in my glove box, "Get your hand off your holster, you son of a bitch." Like, like, I hate cops that, like, look at you and they get, like, scared. Like, they're scared to
Yeah.
be cops, dude. Like, I hate that shit.
Well, it's mind games. They want to put you on edge and they want to make you comply. Um, like it's not even an intentional thing, but with cops, dude, you see a cop driving, everyone improves their driving. Everyone is so on edge. You see a patrol car like a few lanes over and you're like, I am gonna drive like a motherfucker, dude. I'm gonna drive like Evil Knievel over the Grand Canyon. Like it's a mind game, really, for a lot of things. I think part of it is the fear, and like fear equals control and compliance. Um, that's just kind of in
The way
general with
you word
government.
that is gonna turn me into a conspiracy theorist, because I was about to say
What fear is
no,
compliance?
because I had, like, a realization about, like, law and law enforcement is a fear-based tactic, and I don't agree with it anymore at
Yeah,
all.
it's fear mongering. It's complete fear mongering. Most
Yeah,
of
I
the
don't
way that people are uh supposed to obey is with fear. That's what tyranny was. That's what Germany was, dude.
mhm,
You know, it's it's really it's really just playing to human emotion.
I agree with that 1000%. I don't like that at all. It scares
I
me.
don't either, but it's true. It's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like thinking about scary things like that, man.
I don't know, dude. That I like, is that morally right, though? Like, is fear like, I mean, how else I mean, punishment, I guess, but, like, how else are you supposed to like, there's gotta be a better way. There's always gotta be a better way to handle something besides it being fear-mongering, you know? Like, it doesn't have to like, why does it have to be fear-based? Because I mean, if it's not fear-based, then nobody's scared to get in trouble, so people are just gonna do it anyway, but, like
It's not even just with punishment and like getting in trouble with Gobble for doing something. Like
getting in trouble with gum.
legitimately, I don't think if there is a better way, I don't think we would act on it because that works. Telling people to be scared and having people be scared of something is the ultimate way to get them to listen to you. It's the ultimate way to I'm gonna say it out loud on the podcast. Fink texts me, stall. I'm gonna piss my pants. Oh my god. All right, yeah, well, it's just me then. Um, so listen, guys, I could scare you all so hard right now. I could tell you the worst things you'd ever hear, and you would completely listen to me. You'd be 100% compliant. Like, do you think, like, if there's a better way of doing something, I don't think we could act on it. I don't think we do act on it. Like, you look at capitalism. It's a form. Sorry, it's like how our economy works. It's the U.S. It's a lot of different places. Capitalism works. That's what they say. But is it ethically right? Is it ethically right the way that um, people are affected by capitalism? Is it ethically correct for the side effects of it? That's not really taken into account. It's more so just the idea that this thing works and it, it's it 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 works. Yeah, I had to stall for a while, dude. I was running out of things to say.
There's trouble with gobble.
I did you hear what I said?
Yes!
I
Forgot
told
I
him
was
straight
muted, and
up.
I yelled, "No." You read it out loud, you son of a bitch.
I don't care, man. It's funny.
It is funny, but I felt bad.
I don't care, man. Just never do that again, or you're never coming on. Fucking
So you obviously care.
nah, I'm just fear mongering, dude. See, you would have listened to me. I scared you. Oh my god.
I'm just fear-mongering, no big deal.
I'm gerrymandering.
You wanna monger some fear after we after we go get food?
Yeah, for real.
Let's do it. Let's go get a crowd of people and scare the shit out of them and make them do what we want. That's cool.
That's how everything has happened, dude. That's how wars happen. That's how
I
shit
wanna
just starts.
I'm gonna write a book
Oh,
that's,
are you
like,
now?
about the government that's just as black and white as possible in, like, a negative tone. Like,
You
not
will
to
get
get into
censored. You will get censored, and you will be thrown in a gulag.
no, but, like, have you ever seen, um, that really funny YouTube video? And I'm not trying to poke fun at Christianity, but you ever see the YouTube video of, the guy who reads the atheist teenager who reads the Bible in
Yeah,
a negative tone?
yeah. It's so judgmental.
I'm gonna write about the book about the government in a negative tone. Like,
Well, it'd have to work. You'd have to do an audiobook, and you just have
yeah,
to be like,
dude, it would be so funny though. That would be the weakest thing ever.
you have to be like, the government subsidizes gender study courses and contributes to political polarization. Like, you'd have to read it like that.
Yeah, dude, that'd be the funniest thing I've ever done.
I do not have the attention span to write a book, but I'd so write a book. I
That
like just I don't know. Philosophy? What like whatever Jordan Peterson writes about is what I'd write about. Like the 12 rules to life or whatever, like that'd be so easy to write about.
just like a motivational speaker.
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, I said like I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I think I want to do motivational speaking." Maybe I do still, I don't know. But
Did I shit on your dreams before?
no, not at all. But it's sort of just a nugget in my brain at this point where I'm like, "Yeah, I could maybe do this. I think I'd be pretty good at it, but I'm not gonna chase it. Or maybe I will. I don't know."
I think I'd be pretty good running a sales pitch.
Well, we got to
Like
talk about that after hours.
after hours of sales pitch?
Yeah, we got to
Oh
talk about
shit.
sales after
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah,
Uh,
we gotta figure that out.
DomoDrop
Right.
merch, no cap. Don't worry about it.
Wait, that's what we're talking about after
No, I'm
hours?
I'm I'm joking. I'm joking. But
Oh.
something along those lines, pretty much.
I love how this turned into like us talking like super seriously about crazy shit into just normal James and Fink conversation.
Isn't that the beauty of it, bro? Isn't that
Yeah, because we talked about space for like an hour and now we've been just like fucking around for an hour.
that's okay though. That's like I
Yeah,
don't
I
even
fuck
mind
with
that.
it.
Yeah. This is how I like to do it, man. Like you want to know I don't like to toot my own horn, but you want to know how I learned how to like talk and like sort of steer topics? I just
Sort of
I
steel
just I just
topics.
no, steer topics, like just
Oh,
change direction with words. I just talk to myself. Like straight up, like if I'm in the shower or I'm by myself at home, I'll just fucking pretend I'm talking to someone and then I like it sounds so sad, but it's true. Like I have crazy long conversations with myself and I just apply them to people.
I do that in my head. I don't do it out loud.
It works so much better. Like I of course I think about it in my head, but it works so much better for me if I like vocalize it. Maybe I'm just like an audio learner.
You might be.
Maybe. Maybe I channel that. Like
You're
most of what
controlling
I
your brain.
yeah. I'm not a visual learner, dude. If someone shows me a graph, I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" If someone shows me the Banach-Tarski paradox, I'm
The
like, "What is this?"
Banach-Tarski paradox.
I'm like, "What is this?" It makes no sense. I wanna
I wish
read
we had
books,
Sheaves.
man. I wish we did
Let's
too.
pull up the video.
She's would love this.
Sheaves would get down with this.
I think so. I think he would enjoy himself thoroughly. Like a monkey with a banana.
A monkey with a banana.
Oh my god. Dude, every time I see a monkey, I lose my shit. It's just the funniest animal.
Monkeys.
If I see a gorilla going down a tree, I just start laughing uncontrollably.
Really?
Yeah, they can they can fuck you up.
Why no? You ever see that story about the monkey that like ripped his owner's face off or
Yeah,
something?
dude. It was
That shit's fucked
Travis the
up.
chimpanzee and he ripped her face off because I know the full story. It was like this chick's friend came over and Travis the chimp was just chilling, right? But the friend was playing with like the Tickle Me Elmo, which is Travis's favorite toy. And Travis didn't like that, so he ripped her face off. And I
That's
think
so
they
fucked.
had to stab it like a ton, dude, to like even get it to stop. And there was another story where this dude, this guy had a chimp, and I think he put him in like a nature sanctuary or something. It was a place full of chimps, and he brought him a birthday cake, and he gave him like the cake on his birthday. Like the human brought the chimp a cake, and then the other chimps didn't like that, so they found the human. They fucking ripped his fingers off and like just mutilated him.
That's so awful. That's
Isn't that
so
crazy?
awful,
Isn't
dude.
that fucking crazy that they do that?
It's competitive nature.
It's wild.
Dude, wait, so they broke out of the cage?
Yeah, dude, they found a way out of the cages and they found this dude and they like destroyed his body. They ripped off his fingers, they ripped off his balls, like it was crazy.
Oh my god. It is pretty cool.
I think he was still alive too, but his face was completely fucked up.
Yeah, I
What
hate that.
what do you think they do with animals like that? You think they just kill them? Like if they do
Oh,
stuff like that?
yeah.
Because that's what they did to Harambe, but that was kind of like a minor offense compared to everything else.
Well, the Harambe thing wasn't malicious.
I don't think it was either.
If you wanna humanize the animal, the Harambe thing wasn't malicious. It was actually, like, it wasn't it actually trying to help out the
Yeah,
baby at
he was trying to protect it for
yeah,
some I
so
don't know what he was trying to protect it from, but that's what I heard.
did the baby survive?
I don't know. I think it did, and they got him out. Yeah, Google that.
You can hear me typing.
Yeah, pull that up.
The boy was given a trauma assessment. Oh, the boy survived with, like, with non-life threatening injuries.
Yeah, you see the video, right? Like, he drags him in the water for a little bit, and then they just completely tranquilize him and euthanize it.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Like, there's been way worse incidents of animals and human interaction, but, like, I don't know what happened with Travis. Well, I know what happened with Travis, but I don't know what happened with like, the other apes that fucking ripped that dude's face off. It's kinda crazy that animals do that, but
Yeah, but, like, that was, like, malicious intent, like, cause everybody was, like, pissed about Harambe when that shit happened, you know?
yeah, memes aside, it was kind of a
Yeah, it was still
big
kind
deal.
of fucked up, but, like, that wasn't malicious, like, that was studied, and now it's proven that Harambe was just trying to, like, help the baby out, but the monkeys who broke out of the cage and went and destroyed this guy's body, like, that was out of malicious so they probably euthanized the monkeys, I'm sure.
I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, Harambe was really a fucked up incident. It's kinda cool though, like, you know you're on a higher conscious than every, like, domesticated animal, than most animals, because 'cause we're, like, at the top of the food chain, all that jazz, but, like look at that look at those monkeys, man. Look at what those monkeys thought, look at what they did, their thought process. They found a way out, and they deliberately tracked this guy and hurt him. Harambe saw the kid was in some sort of danger, I don't remember what the danger was. It was probably, like, a metaphorical thing. But he was like, "Yeah, I gotta protect this kid." Like, they're such deep animals, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
They're
if I was to tier list animal intelligence, I would put, like, gorillas or, like, just primates, I guess, um, dolphins, and octopi. Octopi are crazy smart.
they are.
Yeah, have you seen dude, there's so many examples. There's a video of a octopus, and he finds, like, 2 coconut shells that sank to the bottom of the sea, and he puts himself in the coconut, and he starts rolling.
What?
Yeah, look that up. Look up the coconut octopus. He gets both shells and he starts just rolling on the seafloor.
No fucking way. To
No, it's
crack
for
the
real.
coconut octopus, here it is.
Yeah.
Live reaction. Holy shit.
Whoa, that's copyright. Chill.
Is it?
I don't know, probably.
Alright, I'll watch it without audio then.
You'll see it though. He goes nuts.
Oh, it's a
Nuts.
breed of what the hell?
Yeah, you see that shit?
Yeah, it's a breed of octopus that does this.
Yeah. And they do so much other crazy shit too. That's
It's
just like
wild.
that's the tip of the iceberg, man. They're crazy smart.
What's efficient about this though, for them?
I don't really know. I mean, obviously it's protection because they don't have a shell. They don't have like a exoskeleton. So it obviously offers protection and it's probably pretty fast, like depending on the landscape or
Mhm.
seascape, I guess.
That's wild. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, I took marine bio. I'm kind of an expert, so.
Yeah, I dropped out of marine bio.
You did? Fuck, dude. I remember you in my class first day, and
That
then you
was
were like, "I'm
senior year,
dropping
right?
out." That was senior year. Imagine
I
if you
wasn't
stuck it
supposed
through
to be
though,
in that class.
but imagine if you were.
I really had no interest.
You would know about the coconut octopus.
I know about it now.
It's true.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, this week, dude, I usually watch a couple movies every week. I don't really watch TV, but I'm like a movie type of dude. I watched a ton of documentaries this week, and 3 of them were like nature ones. There's some crazy shit that animals do, bro. Like, uh, there was one with a dolphin, and like they found a species of pufferfish, and they would just be sucking on the pufferfish to like get high, and they would like pass the pufferfish to their dolphin friends. Like they like just they like getting high. It's like it's a natural human quality, I guess. Or
Pufferfish hobby? Oh wait,
yeah.
no, you said they would eat the pufferfish to get high?
No, they would like they wouldn't kill them. I think they would just like impale them a little bit, and then they would like suck on the toxin and then just like throw it around. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Dolphins
You know
are
what?
up there on the intelligence scale.
Yeah, they're pretty smart. You know like all the clicks and shit they do. Like you think that's like a language? Because like they're always clicking to each other, but we don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's sonar. I thought that's what that
Well,
is.
yeah, I think they do echolocation, but also think people say that it's like a dolphin language, like they're communicating with each other. Not obviously on the same scale as like a fully linguistic type of communication with us, but like straight up dolphins just talk to each other,
Mhm.
which is pretty cool. Yeah, man.
Ugh.
Dude, I think you're getting tired of my shit on the show.
I'm not tired of your shit.
Okay, okay. Ah. Oh my god,
Double,
fuck.
double.
Dude, where did that go? My vinyl record just fell off my wall.
Oh shit. That I just remembered something.
What?
We got the Red Hot Chili Peppers DVD in the car.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Fuck yeah. Gotta throw that bitch back in there.
You know, you kind of strike me, man, as I think your music taste is pretty interesting because you like you're not really towards one side of a specific type of music. Like I feel like you kind of just like you like a broad range of things. Because I can go on forever about music. We did that in the last episode. Sheeves and I can go on for music forever. But I feel like your taste in particular is pretty interesting.
We gotta bring it back to the roots. We gotta bring DomoDrop back to the roots.
Of music reviews, man. I said I'm like we gotta bring it back. That's what we did. We would just review straight up albums, and it was awesome.
My music taste is weird because I like hype music. Like,
Yeah, but you also like some slow shit like Amber by 311, dude.
well, that's a little different, but like hype, like I can really get behind like hype shit. Like either if it's rap or like a fast Red Hot Chili Pepper song or a Block Party song, like that's the music that I like fast paced, like music that you play loud. You know, I
You just
like,
like shit that gets you moving.
yeah,
I feel that. Yeah.
but that's pretty much my music taste. Like I like slow songs, like Amber, and then like songs like slower type beats, but I'll listen to like fast paced songs. 'Cause if I like take a look through my whole like music playlists. It's all like the whole rap playlist, like for when I'm chilling with like the boys and stuff or going out to like a party. It's all hype rap music. And then my other playlist with like my rock shit, I guess you could call it. I don't really know what you want to call it. Is all like hype Taking Back Sunday, Silverstein, Cheetos, Falling in Reverse, Pierce the Veil, like the My Chemical Romance songs, yada yada yada. You know?
No, for sure. I I listen to music for a lot of different reasons. I think if you do, it's kind of important to know why you do. Um, for you, it's, of course you want to get moving. And of course, I have a lot of songs. Like, dude, when I listen to Daft Punk, I just want to dance, man. When I play that whole album with you, um, that's probably like one of the most hype albums for me. Like, but I really like the lo-fi beats, obviously. I played it in the intro and I'm gonna play some on the outro. I listen to that shit every day because it just puts me in a better mind space. It's something I can just relax to. It's something I can let go to. And it's
Mhm.
really good for like running too. Like I don't have to focus on the lyrics or anything. I just like I have music going and it's like white noise for me pretty much. Um but yeah, I used to be like strictly rock only. I had all the band tees. I had the hair, like whatever. Still have the hair. But now I'm really into like hip hop and EDM and pop and like a ton of stuff. So I keep it pretty broad and I always I always feel scared to like show some of my music to other people because sometimes I feel like I have to like appeal to the crowd. Like if I'm with the boys in the car, I'm usually just gonna play what I think they like. Like if I play my shit, it might not keep the vibe good. And then I feel like embarrassed if someone's like, "You gotta like, dude, what is this?" Like, I gotta explain it. It's like I
Mhm.
shouldn't give a fuck because like I love that type of music. I love my music, but like when it sort of just calls for certain situations for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I always bring it up with people though. When I was at college though, like I met a lot of people who had good music taste. There was this one kid in particular, and him and I would just jam on guitar to like 5 in the morning, and he was super into all that shit. Like the only reason we became friends, bro, like, is because I sent him a snap of like my Chili Peppers poster, and he was like, "Oh, I fucking love that album," and then we just sort of bounced off from there. But
Mhm.
I've met way too many people with it's like, "Oh, yeah, well, I really like Juice World. I really like Pop Smoke." It's like the basic stuff, and I don't really listen to that stuff. So I find it hard to relate. But if there's one thing with me, if you like anything, like even a little bit as much as I do, I can talk with you for like hours. I can go back and forth with you for hours, man. Like it doesn't even matter.
Mhm.
I think I've said this before, like if if I in like social situations most of the time, if I have something to like hold me down, if I have an anchor, like something that I know I'm in control of, like let's say I'm at a party, right? And I'm that one guy that busts out the acoustic guitar and plays Wonderwall. And I would never play Wonderwall, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
if I have something that I know I'm in control of, I'm so much more sociable. I'm so much easier on myself and my anxiety doesn't get to me. But like when I'm just in a party and like my friends split off and like I don't really know anybody, then I lose my cool and I go crazy. My anxiety hits a lot. It's um it's something I've gotten in control of a lot better, but like I had a few situations like at college and also just a lot of social situations in general where I've just been really nervous and I let it get to me. How do you handle that? Like that type of stuff?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Like anxiety or just like keeping to yourself in a social situation.
Anxiety is a bad one for me. Most times I just leave. Like if I can't handle something and it's just sensory overload for me and there's something on my mind, I'd shut down, dude. I get quiet and
I
short.
do yeah, for sure.
I'll bark at somebody, like somebody says something wrong to me and I'm in a bad mood. Like I don't necessarily give them a piece of my mind, but I get like rude almost. I'm not like saying it as it's a good quality trait. It's a bad quality of mine. But when my anxiety's high and I'm visibly uncomfortable, I just shut down. I don't want to talk about anything. I need my time to myself, and I have to remove myself from a situation.
That's totally fair, dude. I really have trouble with like leaving, you know? Um, if it's for me, I just can't do anything and I'm completely just in my head and like a million things at once. I have such a hard time just like getting the fuck out and leaving because that's probably what the best thing is. But it's also like I don't want to. It's like this weird fictional obligation to me where it's like I don't want to look bad or like look weak, you know? Because I always feel like everyone's looking at me. I never know what to do with my hands. Like I'm always moving my hands around all the time because I don't know
Mhm.
what to do with them. It's like, do I put them on my hips? Do I cross my arms? Does that looks like I'm opposing you? Do I put them in my pockets? Like, what do I do? It's just thoughts like that constantly. Um, when I'm with people that I'm like not 100% comfortable with, and even if I am comfortable with them, I'm like still, I'm always still worried for some reason. It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
But this is like something that my anxiety doesn't get to me with. I don't know if it's because
The
I feel
the
safer.
podcast?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I feel safer. I don't really think there's really an inherent danger when I'm not doing the podcast or anything. Um, but if I had a random person on here, man, I don't think I would really be worried.
Well, that's good because I mean, sometime hopefully in the future you'll be meeting new like people you've never met before. You know, it's your first
Yeah,
time
yeah,
meeting them.
that's what I'd love to do. Yeah, speaking of looping it back, speaking of earlier, an end goal for me, a foreseeable, like, well, not really an end goal, but more so a goal is just to get a complete stranger, someone I don't know, someone I never talked to before, but get them on here. I feel like that could be really an awesome experience. A lot of the people on that, well, not a lot, but a few people that we have on queue, I haven't ever had a full conversation with. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah, but I think that can open up to a lot of things. It could either be super awkward or it could be really good. So we'll have to see when those episodes get here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, you got Christian Finkbeiner up after me. I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't know. Is he the drummer?
Probably.
All right, cool.
See the drummer.
He's the drummer.
All right, couple.
All right, man. Well, I mean, is that it?
I guess.
I think that might be it. That was such that was such a sudden fucking thing, but
It's all right. Be that guy.
yeah, I'll be that guy. I'll just cut you off. It's fine.
What?
All right, guys. When the music kicks in, that's when you just fucking quit. But thank you. You've been a pleasure, man.
Thanks, dude.
Everyone. Yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll come back with some more episodes very soon. Take it easy.